Our next speaker today will be addressing issues from the financial perspective. Our speaker is Gisella Theodore. She's a certified public accountant with over 15 years in the finance industry. She has a passion to see families protect, build, and accumulate wealth. Something she strongly believes will build stronger communities and ultimately a better economy. Gisella successfully achieves this through a financial advisory role, where through partnering with families, she analyzes facts and explores solutions to reach their goals by mitigating risk in order for them to achieve total financial independence by incorporating insurance, investment, and tax planning strategies. She has observed over the years that the big hiccup to families successfully achieving their goal of financial security is their view of insurance and investment as something that other people do or a waste of money. Her goal is to change that perception by highlighting the benefits of protecting their loved ones, actively participate in their children's education by creating a college fund, and finally leave a legacy to their loved ones and ultimately achieve total financial independence. Gisella, the floor is yours.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you for having me here, and thanks for that wonderful introduction, Anthony. I will now start to share my screen. Like Anthony mentioned, I am an accountant by profession, and I'm also a financial advisor with IG Wealth Management. It is indeed an honor to have me here as a guest speaker at this symposium today. I will be speaking on coping strategies in this pandemic, focusing on your financial health. The novel coronavirus, COVID-19, has altered every aspect of our lives, including our money problems. The news references the state of the economy and the financial crisis every single day. More people are filing for unemployment than ever before, and many small business owners are struggling. The Black community and people of color have been adversely impacted. The data shows people of color make up 83% of reported cases of COVID-19 in Toronto. 51% of reported cases were from low-income households. People of color make up 71% of those hospitalized with COVID-19. Many people of color work in essential services, example, nurses, PSWs, and in the food industry. Many of them can't work from home. They are frontline workers and are therefore more likely to be adversely impacted by the virus. All these hardships can lead to an increase in financial stress. Financial stress is when you feel anxiety or worry over financial problems in your life. It can impact many different aspects of your health, from the way you physically feel to the way you interact with loved ones. You may be financially stressed if you exhibit the following signs: arguing with your spouse or family members more often. It doesn't matter if the conflicts are related to money or not. Hiding bills or receipts from your spouse or family members so you don't get caught spending money. Having difficulty falling and staying asleep at night. Eating to relieve stress or a dramatic change in your eating habits. Today, you've heard how to reduce stress using exercise and addressing your feelings by speaking to someone. Now that you've cleared your mind and are better able to focus, it's finally time to take an honest look at your financial problems. Take the bold step and look at your finances. You will need to revisit or prepare your budget. What comes to mind when you hear preparing a budget? Don't be too daunted by this task. A budget is simply a monthly spending plan that reflects your sources of income and your essential and non essential expenses to determine how prepared you are to meet your budgetary needs for the next 3 to 6 months and onwards. The purpose of having a budget is to control your spending, plan for large purchases or events, build your emergency fund, and save for retirement. If you have not been keeping track, it is a good idea to track your expenses using a spreadsheet or organizer for a month to understand where your money is going. Let us take a look at a simplified monthly budget. So this is a template of a monthly budget. In the first column at the top, you have your sources of income. In the next column over, you have projected or your expected income, your actual expenses, and the difference. Okay. You can also provide commentary or notes on what the difference or the variance could be. It gives you a better idea on how far off you were from your projections and the actuals. What are possible sources of income? Employment income, including bonuses and an increase in salary. Or you may have applied for one of the federal programs like EI or CERB. Another source of income can be an emergency fund using either a tax-free savings account, TFSA, or liquid short-term investments such as money market funds. You can meet with a financial advisor like myself to determine which best suits your needs. Other sources of funds that can be used are severance payments, lines of credit, loans, or other non-registered investments. Note that RSPs and LIRA should not be used as this could negatively affect your retirement plan. Moving down to the expense side, you may want to break it down in terms of house expenses, monthly living expenses, and long-term expenses. Paying special attention to essential expenses, for example, your rent, and non-essential or discretionary expenses. Now that you've prepared your budget, it is important to monitor that plan going forward. You now have a better understanding of your overall financial situation by having taken the time to prepare your budget. You can identify expenses that can be deferred or eliminated if needed. You can start addressing these challenges by breaking them down into different categories. This will make your money problems seem less overwhelming and more approachable. The four categories of challenges are important and changeable. These challenges have a large impact on your financial stress levels and can be changed by taking action, and they are within your control. Examples are some home repairs, heat and electricity. This could be reduced by turning off the lights when you leave a room, keeping the thermostat at a constant temperature. The next challenge is important and unchangeable. These challenges also have a large impact on your financial stress levels, but can't be changed, such as your rent or your mortgage. However, earlier on in the pandemic, you could have deferred the mortgage payments, but generally, this is unchangeable. Not important and changeable. These changeable challenges are irritating and can increase your stress levels. However, they don't truly contribute to your financial stress levels. Examples are just discretionary expenses, such as eating out at restaurants. You now have the option to have a lovely home cooked meal. And the last one is not important and unchangeable. These irritating challenges, they can increase your stress levels and can't be changed, but they don't truly contribute to your financial stress levels. Example, your student loans. In times of financial stress, managing your cash flow becomes key to your overall financial well-being. Let's take a look at your cash flow statement. Okay, I'm sure some of you are seeing just a bunch of numbers in here, but what is a cash flow? Okay, a cash flow monitors your cash in hand, what you are actually receiving in terms of inflows, and what you are spending money on, which are your outflows of cash. In preparing your cash flow, you use actual amounts. Look at the first line, your salary. In January and February is the same. Then in March, it went up. So you may have received a bonus or a raise. And the following months, in April, May, June, it reflects that salary increase. Then you go down to overtime. You may have decided that you want to work overtime every other month, okay? And that is reflected there in your cash flow. That's the actual cash you received. Investment income. Likewise, you may have opted for quarterly payments. Okay, so you can see receiving a payment January, March, and in June. Then you do a total of all your cash inflows. Moving down to cash outflows. Here again, you have your fixed expenses, variable and discretionary expenses. Fixed expenses such as rent or mortgage. You've signed a lease, your rent is pretty stable for the year, and your cash flow reflects that. Variable expenses such as gas expenses. You kept the thermostat at a constant temperature. Electricity, that went down, okay, in the month of February. Probably you remember to turn off the lights when you left the room. If you go down to Gibson Entertainment in April, you had a birthday party in April. Having done your budget previously would have allowed you to plan properly for that event. Your discretionary expense, such as dining out, is now reduced. You are now preparing home cooked meals, or you decided to order out every other month. At the bottom of the cash flow statement is your cash flow surplus, the difference between your cash inflows and your cash outflows. Then you move to your opening cash balance. So this will tie in into, you can reconcile this with what you actually have on your bank account. Notice that the budget and the cash flow, they work hand in hand. So your cash flow is typically your actuals and the budget is your projected and your actuals. So the actuals that you receive flow into your cash flow statement. Over the years, I've done this many times for my clients. Most people are overwhelmed and experience anxiety over doing it themselves. Please give me a call and I can definitely help you with that. You have now prepared your budget, your cash flow statement, acknowledge which challenges are unchangeable, and have identified your most important challenges. In other words, what you need to pay or can be deferred. You can now seek professional support. Seeking out support to help address your money problems is of particular importance during this coronavirus pandemic. The federal government has released new government assistance and relief programs, including stimulus checks, enhanced unemployment benefits, small business loans, and more. Some of the support programs include the new EI program. The simplified EI program became effective last year, September 27th, 2020, and it provides income support to those who remain unable to work. The government has expanded access by relaxing qualification requirements. The benefit rate is typically $500 per week or 300 per week for extended parental benefits. Benefits are available for a maximum of 26 weeks. Then we have the Canada Recovery Benefit, which is a transition from the SIR benefit. It provides $500 weekly for up to 26 weeks to workers who are self-employed or are not eligible for EI. But however, they still require income support and are available and looking for work. This program is available until September 30th, 2021. You can register online at CRA My Account to access any of the programs I mentioned above. Parents of Ontario secondary students will receive a $200 payment per child up to grade 12, also available on the government website at Support for Learners. You can give me a call or send an email, and I can provide you with the link to anyone who's interested. The deadline to apply is February 8th, so you have 2 days to go. You can also seek additional professional support. Debt management is another key component that should be addressed right away. If possible, you should prioritize eliminating any high interest, non-deductible debt, such as credit cards. If you can't pay off your outstanding balances, you should consider a debt consolidation or debt restructuring strategy. Debt consolidation helps you consolidate all your loans and credit card debt under a single loan at a lower interest rate. Debt restructuring may be available for individuals who have or are starting a business and involves restructuring your debts in a manner that would allow the interest on loans used for business purposes to be tax deductible. In terms of mortgage challenges, find a mortgage specialist that you can consult with. Earlier on in the pandemic, there were payment deferral programs available to homeowners. This no longer applies. However, your mortgage challenges can be reviewed on a case-by-case basis with your mortgage specialist and or other lending institutions. Student loans. Can visit Student Aid to revisit your options or call your lending specialist to discuss your situation directly. This will also be reviewed on a case-by-case basis. If you have any tax debt, tax professionals or your accountant can help you set up an installment plan with CRA, which relieves the stress that you're feeling if you're owing CRA. Those are all great support avenues, and you can connect with a financial advisor like myself to explore what strategies best suits your needs. It is now time to move forward. How do you move forward? How do you pivot in the new economy, in the new normal? Let us take a look at the 5 R's. The first one is resolve. It involves taking a step back and evaluating where you are, planning what your next steps will be. Are your present skills transferable to other jobs? Consider revisiting your resume by attending government workshops or paying a professional to have it done. Return. Eventually, we will go back to the office. We will return to work. What will this look like moving forward? Will you be working from home or a hybrid of going to the office and working from home? Some people have missed the camaraderie at the office. How do you also adapt to the changing technology and online platforms moving forward? You can consider doing volunteer work to enhance your skills and make those important connections. Resilience. Dr. Ian had mentioned that previously. It's being able to bounce back and examine new opportunities and jobs that will emerge in this new online environment. New companies are being created. Do you have the right skills for the current market? You can update and enhance your skills by taking a certificate or college courses. To facilitate this, you can withdraw a maximum of 20,000 from your RSP for the LLP or the lifelong learning plan, or you can use government loans and grants. Reimagination. This pandemic has had an impact globally. Everybody is experiencing change. We are all in the same storm, but in different boats. How can we move forward together better? It is time to reimagine what is possible. Reform. Companies may have to change existing policies. Cybersecurity is a concern in this new online environment. Be ready to embrace change. You need to be prepared as we move ahead. And finally, you have now revisited your budget. You have taken the time to consult with professionals like myself and find solutions to your financial challenges. Now is time to stick to the plan, no matter how difficult. You should begin to feel the financial stress lift. Remember that nothing lasts forever. Your credit can recover, and you will be able to get back to the financial state you want to be in. You will slowly start to replenish your savings. You have a path to move forward, and that's the most important part. Accept change. Change can be uncomfortable, but is often necessary for relieving financial stress. Try to see the changes you're making as new opportunities. Change is good. It allows us to re examine our priorities. Practice gratitude. Coping with money problems and financial stress can be overwhelming, but remember to take time to practice gratitude. Be thankful for each day. You are taking essential steps towards financial stability and your overall financial well being. Remember, we are all in this together. Stay safe. Thank you. I can be contacted. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed my presentation today. I can be contacted at telephone number 647-286-3310. You can email me at gisella.theodore@iga.ca.
Thank you,
Do you
Nicole.
have any questions for me, Anthony?
So I'll start off with one, and then we'll see
Okay.
if any more comes in. So
Right.
in your role, what are you seeing? Are you seeing people cashing in their investments now more than normal, or is it the same? What's the trend? What are you seeing during
We're
this time?
seeing that, yes, people, but they're more tapping into the emergency fund that they built, the TFSA. And like I said before, you shouldn't tap into your RSP. So I try to discourage them from doing that unless it's absolutely crucial. So, but I do see a lot of tapping into their TFSA.
And one other follow-up question. How important would you say it is at a time like this to speak to your professional, your advisor?
Yeah, it's important to speak to your professionals as they are the advisors. So you leaning on their expertise to understand your financial position in this pandemic. Like, everybody on the call has said that this is a global pandemic. Everybody's experiencing the change. So it's normal to expect the change, and leaning on your advisors who have the expertise will guide you along, and then you'll, like I said before, you'll start to feel your financial stress lift. So it's very important to lean on the experts.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have any more questions? There's one right here. It says, can you elaborate on the lifelong learning borrowing from RSP? Do you need to pay it back?
Oh, yes, you'll need to pay it back over the course of the years, and you'll pay back 1/5 of that over time until that is done. So yes, you'll need to pay it back, because what you're doing, you're withdrawing without any penalties. So the government expects you to put it back over the course of time. Yes. Are there any questions?
Just check the chat again.
I can stop sharing my screen now. Okay, fine.
If there are no other questions, I want to thank you, Gisella. Excellent presentation.
Thank you.
Those are the things that we need. really want to thank you very much. And
Thank you. It was great having here. Thank you for having me at this symposium. And I hope what I spoke about really will help everybody in moving forward. Like I said, you can contact me, a financial advisor, and my details are gisella.theodore@iga.ca, or you can call me at 647-286-3310 for any of your financial needs.
thank you.
Thank you, Gisella.
Thank you very much.